on your idea. The first thing, in the midst of that, you need to know that you build what you birth, you drop what you adopt. I say it all the time, that you build what you birth, you drop what you adopt. If we're not careful, you will adopt somebody else's idea, but you only have grace to run your race. And if we are ultimately being a copy of somebody else, success leaves clues, but it didn't tell me to extract what they do. It tells me to extract the principles. See, I can watch Valerie's business. I can watch somebody else's business. I can watch Kevin's business. I can watch Jared's business. And there's principles that we can extract, but I need to stay in my niche. I need to stay in my lane. What is it that I'm supposed to do? So return on your idea. When you think about it, we all have a great opportunity when it comes to business. That opportunity can equal out our income. But we have to develop strategy that will allow us to increase our capacity. If you're sitting in here tonight, there's probably no one in here that has too much of the money that you want, which means that if you'll change your capacity, which is your thought life, you can ultimately get more of whatever you have. So I call that having a mind shift. So I wrote that book, Make Every Day a Wednesday, W-I-N-S-D-A-Y. The first section of the book talks about a mind shift. Too oftentimes we have a mindset, but our mindset normally has a limitation. And if we have a limitation, we only go to the place of our limits. You know the story of the caterpillar being put inside of the jar. They then have the jar real tight. The caterpillar jumps up and he continues to jump, ultimately to the place that it hits the ceiling so many times that it lowers its jump now, because it's smart enough to know it's not going to hit the ceiling. They then can unscrew the top, take the top off. The caterpillar has the ability to jump out, though it stays in. Mindset. If we will then have a mind shift, take a new thought, and say to ourselves that we can do the things that maybe we didn't do, I call that MIIA, massive, immediate, imperfect action. You'll never go to the next level if you will not be willing to go ahead and have action that is failure but not final, but it's action that causes you to lift yourself to the next level.
Come on now.
Rejection should cause you to have redirection, and you should become numb to the no's. You can't be successful in business and a no stop you. A no should redirect you. Tell me, what else do I need to know in order for this business to grow? Number one, return on your idea. The second place is return on your influence. Once your idea has been developed and established and you come to market with your idea, the second return is your return on your influence. Tonight, you are looking at people. Sometimes we judge people, size them up, see what they have on, look at their watch, look at their shoes, look at who they are, look at who they're talking to. And we think to ourselves, this is not the one I need to connect with. But people, as we said, are a gateway to unlimited possibilities. They may have somebody in their network that can open the door for the next thing that you need. Yes, we are one handshake and one hello away from unlimited possibilities. You got a lady here that just wrote a book, and she just can teach you all the steps to write a book. And so if that's going to help you, she'll probably tell you, a book many times is your visibility and credibility, and it leads you to profitability. You don't write a book for profit, you write a book for exposure. You write a book for visibility. You write a book to make you the credible expert in your field. And it now opens up doors in order for you to sell a program, a product, a service that you can now monetize your message, product, or service. Return on influence. Influence is real leadership. Leadership starts off as a title, but that's the lowest level of leadership, is a title. When you walk up to somebody and they got to give you their whole line, I love the introduction. Everybody that was a speaker didn't need an introduction. It's your influence. If I got to tell you all these things of who I am, maybe I'm not. So return on influence only comes through personal development. If you are not growing your business is going to stop at some point. You may not have hit your ceiling yet, but at some point your business will stop at the place of personal development, wherever that ends. Why? Because on the other side of what you're avoiding is what you want to achieve. say it again. On the other side of what you're avoiding is what you want to achieve. Think of it. We like to do the sexy things of business, not the non-sexy. The non-sexy is what grows our business. The phone call, the discipline, the networking. But it's those things that we want to do. So look at it like this. If on this side is your idea, if on this side is your income, the valley of despair is called implementation. Go to your notebook that you wrote down all of your great ideas in, and I'm going to tell you right now, you have enough to get started. So at the end of a year, I always tell people 3 P's if you'll take. You don't need money to get started. You need a pen, a pad, and a plan. That's it. That's all you need. You need a pen, a pad, and a plan. That's enough to get started. Now, if I will be willing to get started with my pen, pad, and a plan, I'll get more along the way. Y'all remember we used to play in the arcades, the game, you would have 30 seconds if you get to a certain place. What would happen if you got there before the time ran out? What would they do? They give you what? They give you an extension of time, right? And that's the same thing that happens. If you're willing to use what you have, there's going to be another download that hits you somewhere between where you thought the game was going to end and actually it's going to say continue. So number 1, return on idea. Number 2, return on influence. Number 3, return on investment. So watch how this thing lays